my notes.
It
literally says,
set them down.
Coaches only coaching good
right.
players. Those are my notes for this episode, so it's going to be a good one.
You're going to be crinkly.
I got a lot of notes.
I'm David Farkas from Chiquatics Water Polo with Coach Brittany, and this is another episode of No One's Going to Watch This. We're excited today. This came up in a comment that I had on one of our previous videos, and a parent was telling me they were in a club water polo program, and only the best players got great coaching. He said the great players on the team would get one-on-one outstanding coaching, and if you weren't one of the good players, you got nothing. And I know programs like this exist.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that it's
interesting. We see it a lot in the water polo realm.
I think it's, yeah.
I mean,
it must be everywhere.
It must be everywhere, but since we're specifically in the water polo realm.
It happens more than I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You want to believe this is like, oh, that's just 10% of the programs, but it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
And that's why we're bringing it up today as a topic, because it really irritates me.
Yeah.
And what I told him is that coaches should be in the business of maximizing potential. End. Done. Period. That's it. How do I maximize the potential of my athletes? And that has nothing to do with the raw talent of the athlete that you get.
No. I think a lot of it has to do with the focus on winning too. Because they want to win, so they're going to take their best players and they're going to pour into them. Whereas you have players who aren't quite there yet, they just get sidelined. Yeah. When they have potential too. I mean, we see it all the times. We're the Bad News Bears, Chiquaticers. Just kidding. No, I'll explain to you exactly what happens in our club. We get players who have played every sport that you can imagine. And the parent always comes to us and says they never found a sport they like. And then they end up in Chiquatics. And Coach David coaches every kid the same. It doesn't matter if you've played before or if you haven't.
Let me put a caveat on that. I say if you show up to practice consistently and you treat me and your teammates with respect,
yes,
then I will coach you up.
And that's beautiful. Perfectly said.
That's it.
That's perfect.
That's all you need.
Because you're right. There has to be respect and they have to come to practice.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You have to show up ready to practice, right? Don't show up and be lazy and expect the coach to make up the difference for you.
Those are great points. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have an obligation to be a good practice player as well.
Yeah. But see, some coaches don't even do that. You know, if the players respect them, they still, but my thought was, that's why it's crazy, because so many parents come to us and say, oh, water polo is the first sport my kid has ever loved. And in my head, I was like, no, Coach David's the first coach that ever coached your son. And the
rest just ignored him.
And then the rest ignored him, most likely. Yeah. And that's what we see from years of coaching.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with water polo.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of times I'm like, I just feel like no one ever coached their kid because they're maybe not athletic or they're small or they're not, I mean, we've coached every type of kid.
I don't care because, I think there's a lot of coaches like me, but even if you're not like me and you're one of those other coaches, just hear me out. I don't care if you're already good or not, because it's extremely gratifying to coach someone who starts off with no raw ability at all, and to coach them into something that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's an amazing feeling. And to take someone on that huge journey of improvement. I love coaching great players like anybody else.
It's fun. That's fun.
But it's both are gratifying.
Yeah.
If you allow yourself to do that and you're not focused, like you said, on winning 100%.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about youth sports. We're talking about developing kids. And what I also said to this parent when they told me is, especially with boys, but everybody, a boy could have a growth spurt at 17. They could shoot up 5 inches. So let's take a coach that's developed this kid at 12 when he's 5'6", right? And teaches him how to play post.
Yeah.
Teaches him how to play 2 meters.
Gives him all the
teaches him how to RB. Right? Teaches them how to get inside water. Teaches them all that stuff. Then they shoot up 5 inches, is 6'3". Now all of a sudden he's a Division I player.
Yeah.
And he can play 2 meters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you just coached based on where he was at 12, right? That's just dumb. You're leaving good talent on the table. You don't know how good they're going to get.
Well, and the other thing too is, and this is what we see with what we coach, because we get kids who have never swam before playing water polo.
Yeah.
I've never swam. And you take them, and what you're doing, like you said, first of all, it's the ultimate delayed gratification. Because usually we get them when they're young and we're with them for years. And there's always that moment, like you said, where there's like a click and they turn the corner. And all of a sudden you're going, whoa, so-and-so's never done that before.
We coached a kid in our Polo Buddies class who was moderate autistic and could barely swim. And we taught him how to swim years and years. We got him really young.
Yeah.
Years and years and
we
years.
worked very hard.
And he got pretty
good.
And
he came to every practice.
Every practice. He got pretty good. By the time he went to high school, we drop him off at high school. We don't have a lot of programs for high school kids. So we let him join their high school program.
Yeah.
Right? I saw him a couple years into high school. I told you about this, right? I saw him a couple years into high school. He was a fish.
Yeah, he swam.
He was one of the fastest kids on his swim team. When he went through the water, it was like a torpedo.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you'd have had video on him when he started with us to then high school.
I don't even think he could even keep his legs straight to freestyle kick. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And he deserved that with hard work.
Yeah.
And he deserved a coach to work hard for him.
Yeah.
Not just to look at him where he was and say, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what we do a lot too is when we're coaching, we're not looking at, oh, this guy's going to play at this college, just going to,
or win the Olympics or something. Yeah.
We're just why we want to coach the kids is because we want to give them a chance that in high school they can have some success and they can enjoy it and they can enjoy that sports experience you're supposed to have in high school where you get playing time, you improve, you maybe win, you lose, right? That experience. Whereas if we don't coach them and we just push them off to the side, they will quit.
Yeah.
And they will not play sport in high school.
Yeah.
And like that, and that was the whole point of high school sports was, like that's such a great opportunity to get some skill before you go in and then you flourish. So.
But the bottom line is fairness.
Yeah.
If a kid comes to practice and works hard, he deserves
it.
The coaching. He deserves it.
Yeah.
It's just fair.
And like you said, and the respect. If he's respectful to the coach.
I mean, think about that. He's respecting the coach. The coach is completely disrespecting him if he doesn't coach him.
I know.
You see what I'm saying?
And you're paying him, right? He's getting paid by you to ignore him.
That's another
Except
thing.
for high school. But we're, again, it's youth sports. And clubs, though. Clubs. There's tons of clubs. But you're paying them money, and they completely shove the kids off to the side because they're focused on this tournament that they're going to win.
So youth coaches, I can't emphasize enough, right? Teach every child. You don't know what you have.
No. And you don't know the impact you're going to have on their life.
And to the parents, I know it's difficult, but if you're in a program that is only focusing on the best players, you gotta look for something else. Yeah. Either that or show this video to the coaches, please. I'll do whatever I can to help. But if they watch this, just maybe they might open their minds to a different way of doing it.
Yeah. Or at least hire another coach to work with the younger kids.
Something.
Like I understand you have to win, but again, youth sports is more than winning a trophy. Because remember, a jerk holding a trophy is still a jerk.
That's true.
That has nothing to do with this video, but David says that and I like it.
All right, let's leave it there.
All right. Thank you.
From Shaquatics Water Polo, I'm David Farkas.
And I'm Brittany Farkas.
This was No One's Gonna Watch This.
No one's going to watch this.
If you stay to the end,
no,
congratulations. No one's gonna watch this. I wrote the title. I know what it is.
Oh, but yeah, go coach those poor kids who need help.
See you next time.
See you next time.